Well, if you managed through the B0, a reminder there's some extra practice on the Moodle site. Some of you may be remembering that, and some of you may be really just learning it for the first time, and there's a whack of information there. We're going to move on to something that's a lot quicker. So B.1 is the rectangular coordinate system. So we're going to move on from the one variable equations that we started out with, kind of figuring out the mechanics of solving equations, into equations that have two different variables in them, so both an x and a y. And basically we can see pictures of algebraic equations, believe it or not. We're going to be drawing pictures of math. So it's not enough that we're doing math with letters, but now we're going to be drawing pictures of math with letters. So hang in there. Sounds super weird, but it's not that complicated, really. If you remember playing Battleship, you totally have played this or kind of followed this kind of a system. So we're going to introduce you to the rectangular coordinate system. Basically what we're saying is that there's two axes that intercept. So there is a horizontal x-axis, and it's basically a number line with 0 in the middle, +1, +2, and then -1, -2. And then there's another number line that goes vertically, which we call the y-axis. And that goes again from 0 on up positive and 0 on down negative. So basically anywhere on a grid that is the coordinate plane, the coordinate system, it has an address, if you will. It has a location. So I'm going to just come up with some examples here. So if my battleship was right there, that would be 1 on the x and 1 on the y. So this is 1, 1. You always give the x coordinate first and then the y coordinate. If I had another example here, I'm just going to switch colors to, I'll pick purple. So right here, this point, that would be coordinate 1 on the x, right? I went over 1 and then up 2. So it's at the location here. So these are basically the location of any point on here. So there's 4 different quadrants. The quadrants are numbered, kind of going around. Everything in this first quadrant is going to have a positive number as its address. So always the x first and then the y. This is called an ordered pair. So an ordered pair is the address on the coordinate plane. So if we kind of just do a few more examples to illustrate this, over here in quadrant 2, if I have an example, I'm going to stay, I'll switch up colors again. Maybe I'll go to pink. So if I have a point right there, that's going to be -1 on the x and a +2 on the y. Everything over here is going to have a -x address and a y address. I think it's handy to kind of have an example rather than just trying to think you need to memorize this stuff, because it's very logical, right? So here I have a point right there. That one, the address of this ordered pair, will be -2 and -1. If you take a look at this third quadrant, everything is going to be negative. We'd have a -x and a -y, always. The last quadrant, just moving around, picking a few examples so you can see that we have this, x, y ordered pair on this coordinate plane or coordinate system. Maybe I'll pick one out here. So that point would be 2 on the x-axis and -2 on the y. Everything in this fourth quadrant is a positive x and a negative y. And so, it's really just playing Battleship, if you will. So we're going to practice giving some ordered pairs, and then we're going to practice graphing some ordered pairs. Either way, it's the same idea. You're trying to find the address of these things. So A would be -5 on the x and 5 on the y. Always x and then y. And don't forget to add in the negatives. So C down here, on the x-axis, it would be at 0. right? Just looking at the x-axis first, that's where it is. And then on the y, it's down at the -1. Does it feel like Battleship? I always think it feels like Battleship. I haven't played Battleship in a long time though. Okay, so E's up next. On the x, it's a 1. On the y, it's a -7. If you think you're getting the hang of this, then go ahead, fast forward the video, pause the video, give it a try, whatever. I'll keep putting the answers on. B would be 5 on the x and 2 on the y. And D, way over here, it's -8 on the x and -6 on the y. So that's giving an ordered pair for a location on the coordinate plane. Going the other way is finding the location given an ordered pair. So I need to find location 2 on the x and -3 on the y. That's going to be point F. G, if I follow the instructions, it's 0 on the x and 5 on the y. H gives me -3 on the x and a +3 on the y. I, if I do that one, it tells me that it's -6 on the x and 0 on the y. Sometimes I just get them backwards. I don't have a solution for that. It just happens. The last one, J, is -4 and -8. So this is spot J. You can try this one. The last one is just a little application of this. This is not a very hard section, so don't look. There's no tricks. So this one says we've got 3 locations. What's the 4th? And so what I'm going to do is put these on the map here. So I've got the first one on, the second one on. I'm working on the third one now. And it says, if this is a rectangle, what is the point of the 4th corner? And so if I just square this out, this is the 4th corner, but its coordinates would be a +6 and a -7. So give that ordered pair. It's the location on the coordinate plane.